Hello everybody. So today's video is going to be about what is it going to be about? What's it going to be about? I wrote it down because I always forget when I ever do a video. Today's video is going to be about being aware of my illness, and if you don't already know, I have schizophrenia. Um, so for the longest time of growing up and everything, I wasn't really aware that anything was wrong with me. Now I know that's a huge thing with schizophrenia is you have no idea, and it's like this with a lot of things. If you have no idea anything is wrong with you, and you have, and then you somehow, well, for me at least, I found out quite late. Um, I found out when I was in high school, and I had to drop out because of it. Well, I don't want to say I dropped out because of it because that sounds kind of stupid, but I mean it is true. Um, I think I got diagnosed around 15 or 16, and I've had it for all of my life, I would say, ever since a tiny kid, I would say. Hello, kitty. Kitty wants to get up on my lap. But yeah, I've had it for, come on, get up here. Come on. So I've had it for most of my life. Here, you guys want to see kitty? Come here. Hello. So I've had it for most of my life. I'd probably say ever since a baby, to be honest, because I remember vividly hallucinating when I was a baby. Don't really know how common that is, or don't really know anything about that. And I did hallucinate quite a lot, and I was a very terrified kid, and I would have a lot of problems. And schizophrenia is kind of a gradual progress, or gradual process, and I didn't start getting help with it. Sorry, kitty hit the mic. Um, I didn't really I started noticing things a lot differently when I was around 11, I think. 11, I had some very unusual thought processes, and I had very unusual. And I was still hallucinating at that time, so I thought. I didn't really think anything of it. I mean, I was a kid, didn't really think of it, anything of it. And then it started becoming a huge problem when I was in school, and that's when I started to get help for it, and a lot of people started coming in, saying, you need to do this and that and stuff like that. So I ended up in the mental hospital and stuff like this. And this is obvious. I'm just giving you guys a little backstory, a little bit, just to kind of frame the story. Um, because a lot of people, I feel like, don't really know what schizophrenia is, obviously. And I think one thing I'm really good at, or I wouldn't say I'm really good at it, but I'm very aware of the problems I have, and I'm very aware of um, my illness. And I mean, it took a really long time for me to become aware of it. To be honest, it took a really long time, and I've had it. I'm 22 now, and I've had it for most of my life, and I wouldn't really change anything. And I do have a very hard. See, the thing is with medication, if you don't treat the illness right, if you don't treat any illness, for a matter of fact, it's going to get worse. It's going to get way, way, way worse, and it's just going to gradually get worse and worse. And that happened to me beforehand. It happened to me, and I wasn't on medications until I was probably about 15, stuff like that. And I was very unaware of a lot of things at that time. I was very unaware of things. Um, I would treat paranoia, and I would treat delusional thinking, and I would treat um, odd thinking as a real thing. Kitty, you're gonna have to get down. You're hurting my legs. Um, it would, but the thing is, nowadays I'm really good at being aware. I mean, I can say this that the only thing I'm not aware of sometimes is when I do have hallucinations, not visual, I mean auditory. If I have auditory hallucinations, it's very hard for me to tell if it's real or not, especially when it happens out of nowhere, and I'll think it's something, and then, I always think I hear my name being called all the time, or that people are talking to me, and I can't tell if it's real for at least a good 30 seconds or something, or maybe up to a minute, and I can't tell if it's real or not. And then after a little bit, I start noticing that it's not real. same goes for not same goes for visual hallucinations, but for visual hallucinations, it's very easy to tell if it's real or not real. Mainly because, the type of visual hallucinations I have are quite scary, I guess you could say. They're not the most pleasant thing to look at. Um, they don't really blend in with real people or anything like that, so I can easily tell that it's not real. Now, the problem I have mainly is delusions and paranoia. Those are the things I have the most problem with at the moment. Thinking that everybody is trying to kill me, thinking that someone's going to throw a grenade in my window, or somebody's going to shoot through my window and hit me, or that my door's about to be broken open and I'm going to get shot, or I'm going to get stabbed, or something like that while I'm sleeping, or I'm going to get, suffocated, or something like that while I'm sleeping. And the things that is very hard to deal with. Now, the thing is, I could say for normal people, they can kind of dismiss it or something like that. But for people who have schizophrenia, I feel like it starts to become an obsession. And people with schizophrenia, their brain is always trying to trick them. Right? That's the main thing. Your brain is always trying to trick you to thinking something's real when it's not. I would like to say that's the main thing with it. Hello, what are you doing? She is just... I wish you guys could see her right now. She's just rubbing her head all over me. And I would say that... Hello, you hungry? You hungry? And where was I now? This cat always distracts me. I'm trying to make a video, kitty. And I think I was talking about things with awareness. The thing I try to do the most, to be able to be fully aware of my illness, and it is very hard because it's an illness that's always trying to mess you up, and it's always trying to make you think certain things, make you think in very odd and unordinary ways. The thing I like to do most is in life, I always try to determine what's real and what's not real. Right? I've spent the last 6-7 years trying to determine what's real and what's not real, and what way I should be thinking and what way I shouldn't be thinking. Right? That's a big thing with me because I don't want... See, the problem with this illness is you can easily go down a spiral and just completely go insane for a long period of time if you start believing in things that you should not believe in, right? And that's what I try not to do. I try to keep myself in a very comfortable situation. Try to keep myself in a very sane and comfortable situation. Mainly because I don't want to go down that road again. I've been down that road a lot, and I just don't want that. It's not something I want to happen. I want to be as stable as I possibly can be, even if that's just sitting in this room with 4 walls, and never leaving my house. I feel like that's kind of the... Kitty, what are you doing? I feel like that's kind of the way I have to go with it. The way I have to be my most sane self. Because when I go outside, I'm a completely different person. I always look at the ground. I can't look at people in the eyes. I can't talk to them. I can't really do anything. I'm completely mortified by people. I'm completely terrified of them. I just don't do well around people. I feel very uncomfortable around people. That's why I usually never have friends. I never really... back then I used to never really have friends that much. Every once in a while I would. But it's hard for me to trust people. It's very hard for me to have a, relationship. It's very hard for me to be comfortable with someone. It is a very difficult thing for someone who has a mental illness like schizophrenia or something like that. Kitty, do you want to say hi to the people? You want to say hi to the people? You're cute. And I think that's the best thing you can really do for people who have a schizophrenia or something like that, is just to try to keep yourself in a very sane, very comfortable environment that you're comfortable with. I know not everybody can do that. Not everybody can have that luxury. But it's very important for mental health, I feel like. It's Extremely important. It's been extremely important for me to be, because when I'm off medication, for example, I go right back in the mental hospital. I can't function. And one day I would, Kitty, careful. And one day I would really like to maybe get off medication, because it's not the most fun thing, but it's you got to take sacrifices. You got to do things you don't want to do, obviously. But every time I've been off medication, I just go downhill so fast. If I was off medication right now, next week I'd be done. I'd be done for. That's just how it is. And the medication makes me be able to relax, makes me able to determine what's real and what's not real. And that's the really important thing with medication. It's always also very important to do, or to be able to deal with your illness, is being aware of it, trying your best to be aware of it, trying your best to understand it, and try to be aware of who you are and what's wrong with you. So yeah, I think that's why I'm pretty aware of my illness, and I'm pretty aware of what's bad for me, what's good for me, and things that I deal with. I try to be as aware as possible, and I try to keep that in a good line. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys next time. Also, if you want to follow me on any of my social medias, the link will be down in the description below, and I will see you guys next time. Bye, everybody.